Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Star Wars Wednesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron Series 4 A-Wing. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here we have Star Wars. Warning, no stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. Nice big blister showcasing the figure and vehicle. Then Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron. Jazzwares number 0079 A-Wing Series 4 8 and up. Did I say that? I don't know. And then here's that nice chromy piece that kind of gives the packaging a, I don't know, upscaled feel, I guess, and around here as well. Hardly ever works good on chroma key, but I try anyway. And don't give it to babies. Symbols I'm not going to learn. Small fine, legalese made in China print. Jazzwares print. Barcode, a number, Disney print. On the back side, we've got Star Wars. The canopy opens. And the landing gears come out. And then we have the clip and connect blueprint. Some Aurebesh A-Wing light armor class. And then here's the cross sale. Collect them all. Disney, StarWars.com, Lucasfilm, Micro Galaxy Squadron. Oh, and these are the chase vehicles, by the way, out of this series. There you have it, my friends. A look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and vehicle. And first up, we have handy dandy tweezers here to help us take a look at the smaller bits like this guy. And I have to say, for the most part, he does have a lot of nice decos on him. Like, this looks like a deco, and like 2 different decos, maybe even 3 different decos. No, just 2. On his chest box, he's got these hoses, his belt, his helmet, his visor, his face. The part of his helmet right there. His vest piece, again his belt. And there I go dropping stuff. His gloves, again the hoses and the straps. The tops of his boots. And the boots themselves. So that's a lot of deco for one little dude. In my opinion. You know, usually you don't see that much deco on something this size. Now, as far as his articulation goes, like all Micro Galaxy Squadron figures, at the shoulders, rotates 360 degrees, and then at the hips, approximately 90 degrees to get him into a seated position. Now let's take a look at the vehicle, and we have taken a look at an A-Wing here on the channel before. It was Hera Syndulla's A-Wing, so this is pretty much the same as that, only the paint is a little bit different. So we've got, you know, this big stripe right here that angles into the cockpit. And then we've got some paint here on the cockpit, which is made out of a clear plastic. And then some more on the back part of it here. Got some right here. And then here for the engines. And then here on the steering fins. And here on the steering fins. And again, the engines. And on the underside, just a big stripe there. And then these look like separate pieces molded in this color plastic. They don't move, however. So there is that. Then we've got the landing gear, folds in, so zoom, zoom. And just like the old Kenner and then later Hasbro, because they reused that A-wing mold, you know, it doesn't have any rear landing gears. It just sits on these steering fins. And then also the cockpit opens up, I promise. There we go. So it opens up like that. We've got a little bit of detail going on in the cockpit. You can see, well, I'm not sure how much of it's showing up on camera, but there are some unpainted control panel details in there. So that's cool, especially again for something this size. And that holds for the whole line, you know. Lots and lots of details. So guy just sits right down in there and you close it up and he is ready to take on the second Death Star. And there you have it, my friends. A look at the figure and vehicle. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Micro Galaxy Squadron A-Wing Starfighter from Return of the Jedi, the Micro Galaxy Squadron Chase Vehicle, Harrison Dula's A-Wing Starfighter, and also from Return of the Jedi, the Micro Galaxy Squadron B-Wing Starfighter. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron A-Wing with the general release of the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron Millennium Falcon. For final thoughts on the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron A-Wing, I have to say it's an impressive little vehicle. I always thought it was cool in Return of the Jedi. And the pilot, although the helmet was a little weird, you know, always intrigued me. And I guess I'm going by just not what we saw in Return of the Jedi, but the Kenner action figure of the A-Wing pilot as well. Although his helmet wasn't nearly as weird as the B-Wing pilot. Did we have an A-Wing pilot? I don't even remember now. I'm pretty sure there was. I know there was a B-Wing. And, you know, the Kenner A-Wing was one of the few pieces that I've never owned, and that's okay. There's, you know, a couple of 2, 3, 4 times maybe, you know, Hasbro has reused that Kenner mold, and that just tells you how good those Kenner molds were back in the day. And I don't know, when I say that mold, it's at least based on that. I don't know that they're using the exact dies that were tooled up for Kenner. I imagine a lot of those things were gotten rid of, but I think they made new tooling off of the vehicles themselves. So in that sense, it is the same to me, at least. You know, that carries over to a lot of those early well, I say Hasbro, but Kenner, you know, when they started the Power of the Force 2 line, you know, they reused a lot of their own stuff. And then Hasbro reused some of it as well. But I digress. That doesn't have anything to do with this Micro Galaxy Squadron A-Wing, does it? Which is a great, great piece. Yes, it is one of the smaller starfighters used by the Rebel Alliance, but it's fast as you know what. And the figure that comes with this, there's lots of nice molded details, and it seems like, and I could be wrong, but it seems like there's a lot more paint apps on this particular figure than what we normally get in the line. And that could be, you know, there may be a cost per wave, and it ended up he got more paint apps because other figures got less paint apps. It could be, you know, a cost per pack, where since this vehicle is so much smaller than a lot of the other things in the line, they splurged a little bit on the figure's paint. But I could be mistaken about all that, but again, to me it seems like there looks, you know, it feels like there's more paint on this figure than what we normally get. But I'm not going to swear to that. Just, that's my feeling. Your mileage, of course, may vary. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better, of course. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.